Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Tuesday 10 at 10. We have 3 questions we're going to do today. And as we move along, we are going to do less and less of this because I'm going to push everyone into our forum so that we can have a continual discussion over there. So if you're not signed up to join our forums already, go today to bakerpedia.com/forum to join in the conversation. Okay, we are starting to have really interesting conversations in there. And Mark Flarkey is really doing a great job in managing the community. All right, so let's start off with the first question that came through onto our double acting baking powder page. The question really asks what happens to aluminum in double acting baking powder, and does it sublimate? Where does it go? All right. And if you ingest the aluminum, which is really a trace metal, what happens to it? Do you metabolize it, or where does it go? All right. So I think a lot of people have that same question. I mean, even us as product developers, we never really ask these questions about what happens when our consumers consume it, right? So let's just take a step back and understand what is double acting baking powder. Why do we do the things that we do, right? So double acting baking powder was created so that it reacts in the liquid and then it reacts in the oven. Okay, so you usually have 2 leavening acids to do that. The one that reacts in the oven is usually SALP, or sodium aluminum phosphate. Okay, so there are concerns in the general public about consuming aluminum. But if you look at how much aluminum we use, it is such a trace and such a small little amount. I think there's so little concern. I mean, there hasn't been any kind of studies out there that really sheds any concern on the amount of aluminum in double acting baking powder. Okay, so basically the SALP reacts with the sodium bicarbonate. And when that reaction, acid-base reaction happens, produces the carbon dioxide that is heat generated. Okay, so so when that happens, SALP breaks down, right? Your body actually absorbs that. Okay, becomes an aluminum portion, sodium and aluminum. Exactly how it breaks down, I don't know. I'm not a nutritional scientist, so I don't know the components where it's break down and absorbed. But I know that based on the studies, and I'm going to put this link onto the forums on the nutritional toxicity of aluminum. It looks to me like anything that passes over into the blood phase or absorbed by the stomach is going to come out in the kidneys, in your urine. And anything that is broken down in the GI tract is going to come out in your bowels. Okay, so some form or other, the aluminum is going to leave your body. Okay, how and when and in what quantities, we are not very sure. But I hope that link that I share in the forums is going to help you understand a little bit more about aluminum, its toxicity, and I hope it helps, reduce that fear of using aluminum in double acting baking powder. Okay, I personally feel it's safe. I've used it all my life. Doesn't mean a thing to people, but I'm a perfectly healthy human, and a lot of people may not be as healthy as I am. I truly understand that, and I do understand the fear, but I feel like the more I share the information on this, the more you can educate yourself and read it up and understand from a reliable source like the CDC. Okay, so link is going to be in the forum. Go check it out. All right. Next question is it's from my Ask Dr. Lin episode 31 on croissants. Please suggest, how can I create a center filling? What machine is available for that? And a recipe for making different flavor creams. All right, so a lot to answer in this session. But let me start by saying, why don't you reach out to our sponsors at Macatherm and ask them if they have a center filling machine. I'm pretty sure they do, basically because they created a lot of dough divider fillers, I believe, for chocolate croissants and bear claws. So stop there first. I will also post this question in our forums so that people can contribute to what other machines that are out there for doing this, okay? And also the different recipes, okay? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create this community for us all to chip in and share our knowledge, okay? So we're gonna create a croissant thread so that we can all contribute to this knowledge, okay? I hope that helps. Next question. On the Ask Dr. Lin episode 7, which is way back a year ago, someone's just finally finding this particular topic. I need to give a longer life to my crispy biscuits. So what I think here is this person's asking a question on biscuits, which in the British and outside the American system, a biscuit is actually a cookie cracker kind of deal, okay? A biscuit in the US is considered a morning breakfast dish, okay? So it's not the fluffy biscuits, it's the thin, crispy biscuits like the Delta Airline Lotus cookie biscuits. That's what I'm thinking the question is about. I need to keep them longer than 2 months, perfectly savory and still crunchy. Okay, so this post was on artificial preservatives, and I really don't think you need any preservatives if your cracker is low in oil and fats and water, okay? And this is the reason why. Go to our water activity page, okay? And you will see this graph, okay? So this graph pretty much shows, you know, what happens when you increase your water activity, all right? And what happens to the relative rates of reaction, okay? As you can see here, mole growth starts happening at 0.6 right up to 0.1. Water activity of 1.0 is water, okay? Bread falls usually in this range of 0.8 to 9.95, okay? That's where bread is. That's huge activity for mole growth, okay? So take a look at this graph on the water activity page, and you will see that if you bring your water activity down to below 0.6, that's about where a cracker biscuit can be, okay? Most cracker biscuits bake out at a 0.6 to 0.7 water activity, but you need to have extra bake out, you know, to get it to below 0.6. And you can measure your water activity by purchasing your water activity meter. For you, absolutely, I would recommend a water activity meter. But if this is someone else just curious and understanding what their water activity is, send it out to a food lab. Any food lab would be able to tell you what your water activity is for one sample, okay? So do your water activity studies and understand where on this range you fall, okay? So once you get the water activity down to below 0.6, you don't need to add any artificial preservatives. Okay, say you can't not bring it down to 0.6, then that's when you need to go back and use either cultured wheat if it's a wheat-based product, or cultured whey, if it's a gluten-free product, or sorbic acid, right? Sorbic acid you can use for gluten and non-gluten products. All right, sorbic acid you can use. There's a new product by J&K called Sormate, which will be perfect for this situation. And try those preservatives and see where you are. Okay, you shouldn't have any mold growth. Okay, one more issue: if it's a high-fat, savory biscuit, okay, or cracker, we'll call it that cracker in the U.S. It's this thing right here. Can you see that? Right. And this. It's lipid oxidation. If you don't get it down below, I say 0.5, okay? If you don't get it below 0.5, you're going to have issues with oxidation, and you're going to have to use chelating agents. Look at chelating agents on Wikipedia, and antioxidants to prevent and reduce or slow the rate of lipid oxidation on there. Crispy wise, you can always keep it crispy at 0.6 and below. Okay, so crispiness also is a whole science and study behind it. It's all based on glass transition temperature. Okay, and glass transition temperature is very suitable for really brittle products like sugar and proteins. Wheat gluten. It's really really good for crispness of the product. So good luck on that, and I hope that helps. So before I end today's 10 at 10, I would like to invite you to attend our clean label class on cakes. Okay, so sign up today. It's for our clean label cakes growth hacking seminar. Okay, basically we are going to cover a cleaner cake leavening system. What's so special about cake flour, heat treated cake flour, and why do we use chlorinated flour in the US? Okay, so there's a huge concern and discussion around that. I want to bring in an expert. Dr. Jane Bach's going to be our expert, and she's going to talk a little bit more about the flour chemistry behind chlorinated flour and what does heat treated flour substitution look like. Okay, all right. So after Dr. Bach, that's going to be a discussion on clean label fiber. It's a new thing. You guys just got to listen and learn about clean label new fiber, okay? And then based on a lot of the questions coming onto Bakerpedia, how can I make my cakes have a shelf life of 60 days and beyond? All right, so we're going to address this, and Richard is going to help us navigate this. All right, Richard is an expert in the cake and shelf life of cakes. He's worked at Tasty Cakes before, and lots and lots of knowledge there to share with you. All right, we take a little break for lunchtime, and then we'll go into the baking lab. It's my virtual baking lab where I'm going to show you shelf-stable cake field products. We're going to discuss water activity and the different kind of water activity its causes on shelf life. Okay, we're going to have a comparison of conventional and clean label alternatives. So these three things I'm just going to show you from the lab. I hope I can get in then. If not, we just have to figure out something how to show this to you. I'm pretty sure we can get into our baking lab by then. Okay, an alternative to egg-free cakes and healthy icings is going to be a presentation from Dr. Mamun. and he's going to showcase alpha dextrins, and you can ask him anything about alpha dextrins. Okay, so that's going to be an interesting one. And then we will wrap up the day at about 2:30, 3 o'clock with the roundtable session, where we will address everything from the day's presentation. Okay, so this is going to be on April 23rd. That's the Thursday coming up this month. So please sign up for it. Membership is free, so I hope I see a lot of you there. Okay, so that's all for today's session. I will be back tomorrow on Wisdom Wednesday, and on Thursday we will be talking to the founder of Top Tastes from Netherlands, and they are going to be sharing a piece of their story with us and how they started out and how you get crispy onions today. All right, that will be a Thought Leadership Thursday. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Stay sane, bakers. Bye.